Okay, today's little project is installing this onto my NX Pajero, made by tradesmen, which have been around. These guys have been around for a long time. I've sorted out all the bits and pieces that come with it, and just starting to remove the things off the rails. You've got to start by taking these screws out. They're actually like it's one of these. So I got away with using an Allen key, but you might have like the 12-point type Allen keys. But if not, I got away with using. I think this one doesn't have a size on it, but anyway, I'll get them out. We'll get onto it. Next step is to take out the handles, both of them, just to make it a bit easier to pull that head lining down a bit, as well as the door rubber. Alright, time to pull these out. Just get a flat blade in there, flip that up, and a little Phillips head screw, take that out. I'll do the same in the back as well, and then probably pull this lining down a bit, just so we can get in there. There's the rear aircon that gonna have to undo a screw, I believe, to sort of move it out the way. A couple of good videos on about how to pull these rails out. Have a look at OCAM roof racks. There's a couple for Pajero, and the guys go through in depth about how to pull them out. So I won't labour on it. If you want to save yourself a shit ton of pain and lots of swearing, before you do this, whoops, go and buy one of these. If you haven't already got one, go and get one of these. They're a mini offset screwdriver ratchet. I got this one from Bunnings, $12, and it comes with some bits and pieces. I've seen them different types online and that, but I just wanted to get this done today. So, you know, it was like $12, and it's so much easier. It's shorter than a stubby screwdriver, and you know, it's a ratchet one, so I can get that screw. It's already started to move, and I don't need anywhere near as much room as on the stubby. So totally recommend getting something like this, guys. Comes with comes with these, same sort of thing. I already got that, but man, this thing's priceless. Not bad for $12. All right, got that out. Used this extension. Started it off with the ratchet, but then just did it by hand. You cannot, or I could not see it. Where are we? So it's directly in the middle. What I did do is I came in through, even with the torch up there, I couldn't see it. So I came in through here, and it's on a bit of an angle. So I was actually on a bit of an angle like that to get it out. But if you feel around with your fingers and then on your left hand and put it on with your right, put the ratchet on with your right, you'll get it and you'll get it out. Just a bit of perseverance. Pain in the ass, but not as bad as I expected. All right, so that's that done. Just took the seatbelt pillar off. It's easy enough. You just a little cover on here. Just flick open from the back side. Where is it? Yeah, here. So just stick a screw, come around the back, stick a screwdriver in, and flip her open, and then you can get to the 17mm bolt, which is somewhere in here. Once you pull that out, this is sitting like that. It takes a little bit of persuasion, but as you can see from the clips up the top, one up the top, one down the bottom, you think you're going to snap it, but you don't. take it off from the front, just push it, takes a bit of persuasion, and then go around the other side and do the same, and then it will click off nice and easy. Looks like I might have stuffed that connector, but we'll see how we go. Alright, so on the passenger side there's another screw like the other side for the rear aircon vent. The difference on the passenger side is the screw is not 50mm in front like on the driver's side. It's pretty much directly in line with the front of this bracket. So if you put your finger on the front of that bracket and go in, you'll feel it. So got that out, let's keep rolling. Just one other thing, like the other side, you need, once you've undone that screw for the aircon vent, you need to push the aircon vent back a bit so you can then get access. Again, I've come up through that door handle hole. You can see that it's on a bit of an angle, so it's not directly vertical, it is on a slight angle. And it's just on a, extension, two small extension pieces. You can put your left hand up there, feel the nut. Only took me a couple of goes and I got this on, but we'll have that out in a minute and the other rail off. Alright, so here's the rails, I've just unpacked them. They're quite solid, much thicker and more solid than what looks to be the cheaper versions of platforms that are available. I did pay considerable more for this Wedgetail platform, but just feeling the weight of these and the thickness of them, yeah, they're very solid. Can't see any flex that would happen on these. Pretty happy with that. So I just got to get them mounted now. Okay, put the rail up. Couldn't get the thing to line up with the holes. Was hoping to leave these factory bases up here because they seem to have some pretty good water sealant, water resistance. So turns out I can't. There is nuts, bolts to get them out. I'm in the process of doing that now. They ship with these things, these spacers. And it makes sense that they've got to go in there. I just didn't want to have to use them up here if I didn't have to. Turns out I have to. So one bolt under there, one bolt under there that line up with that hole and that hole, 10mm. So I'm just going to pull them out now and do the same on the back and then put the rail up just for a temporary fit. This is way more fun than I wanted, that's for sure. Had to go down the road and buy a couple of little bits and pieces, just a 1/4 inch universal socket, universal 1/4 inch drive. Had to go up through where the door handle holes are, so it's probably a bit hard to see, but yeah. If you try and go in through here, you've got to get your hand up behind the airbag curtain and it's just painful. So I've attached it up through there, directly up with the uni down here, and it looks like the best way to do it. But yeah, a lot of fun. Make sure you start this early in the morning because you're not going to finish it within an hour, that's for sure. Success. 1 of 4. 3 more left. Awesome. Yeah, so that's what it looks like. Got to clean that out, and then we've got to put some of these in that ship with it. Fill it with silicone 227, I think it is, the black automotive stuff, once I've given it a good clean out. But you can see that's what's sitting behind the curtain airbag. Yeah, just fiddly. Look, you can do it, but if you're gonna do it, go and get one of these if you haven't already got it. Just a 1/4 inch. Man, that was just, the quality of this rack is fantastic. Australian made. Glad I bought it. but the quality of the instructions is just shit. It is absolutely diabolical. The first two steps talk about getting the car to this point, but that's it. It doesn't sort of say how to do it, anything like that. So that's why I'm making this video. If anyone else is out there and you've got to take these inserts out, it's a bit of a pain in the ass. So it's a bit of a learning curve. It's been good. Some of the cheaper racks that you see bolt down onto these existing mounts, so you don't have to take them out. So this is, you know, you've got to go an extra step, but so be it. Once it's done, I'll forget all about it. But yeah, just be aware. Go and get the right tools and you'll save yourself a lot of frustration. You can see that the bolt, where the bolts come through versus where they connect on the roof, you know, there's probably what, centimeters difference, something like that. And that explains why I couldn't get them to line up, because I was keeping that bracket on. This bracket here, I was keeping it on. I could cheat and just put in 3 bolts. That one lines up, those two line up, but only one of those lines up if I keep that on, because the bolts where they go through is different to where the factory holes are. So I'm going to have to take that off, which means I'm going to have to take out all the stuff that I did last week. That's what I installed last weekend, and I thought, you beauty, that's all done. Now I've got to pull it out just to drop the roof lining, take out that handle, and get to the bolts on top of that rear. But so be it. Rather do it properly than cut corners and have problems later. Well, as you can see, it's escalated a bit. Yeah, did what I didn't want to have to do and just pull these out. These clip out pretty easy. Just a bit of persuasion. I put my hand in here, gave it a pull. They just clip out. Just be careful of these little lugs. I had one pop out. They push straight back in, but just make sure you don't lose them. So I've just lowered these two so I can get up into where is it? It's actually back here, so I can get up and take those off on either side. So I'll get into that now, and hopefully you'll see it in a minute with a rail up. Alright, so I had to remove this rubber in order to get that door trim down. Little yellow tab there. Just pop that out. Up, and drop it like that. And then we can go around and start pulling it down a bit. Alright, I also removed a couple more of those hood lining trims. I didn't like the sound it was making, so I just had to pull it out to get a bit more, drop it down without it sort of creasing and cracking. Probably need to take those two out. I'm just going to see how I go, given where I need to get to is up in this back corner. Not too hard, just pop them out with a plastic tool. Put them aside so you don't lose them. Alright, so that's what it looks like. It's down. These are bigger plugs. These ones are from up there, and the smaller ones are from along the back part. So they're two different sizes. Just make sure you put the bigger ones, which go in the center part of the roof somewhere. That's what they're for. Alright, so it turns out it's the aircon duct. If I had to open my eyes, I would have seen that it connects up there, but anyway, for those that don't know, it's the air conditioning duct that runs around the back. So all I did was pull that from that part there. It comes out real easy. This part is still fixed up to the top of the roof. I did see a screw along here somewhere, one there. So I just need to have a look and see. I think once I drop that screw, that should drop this part. I've seen the screws I need to get to behind here, so I'm hoping it's just this one last screw over this side of the aircon duct to get it out. I'll find out in a sec. Alright, I'm down to the last screw. Sorry about all the... I thought I'd have the rails up by now, but there's every screw you undo, there's another one you've got to undo. It's just bullshit. But I think I'm finally there. So this is the last one that holds this air conditioning duct in. That's what it looks like with the roof down. There may be one hiding over there yet. I would not be surprised. I'll just get this one out now. Woohoo! Done. These two little mini ratchets, man, have been invaluable, along with the 45-degree bloody uni piece that goes on them. Alright, got that out. As you can see, I had to gut the car almost to do it. I didn't have to drop the front anymore. Getting in here and doing them was not too bad with that. The new bolts that go in are longer. They're M6, I think about 35mm, so they're longer than these. I've already tested one, put it through the hole, and even with the little mounting block they give you, and it feels like it's going to be relatively easy to get the nuts on, so a lot easier than taking these out. Thank God for that. But I guess that answers why, in my mind, why these factory mounted rails aren't rated as high as the backbone system. The only thing I can think of is looking at this. This is sort of rubber, and as you can see, that's where it comes through and mounts onto the roof, or goes in and mounts on the roof, I should say. And then you've got these two plastic holes here which have backing nuts, and that's what the factory roof rail mounts onto. So you can see it's not just one bolt going through into the roof of the car. It's actually two different setups. And again, this is only rubber, so I'm thinking that maybe that's why factory's only rated to whatever it is, maybe 100 kilos, 70 kilos, I'm not sure what it is. With the new one, it's rated to 100 kilos, but there is no on-road, off-road rating on it, so that's cool. All right, got to clean these up now. Clean them up, get the new bits in, and fill them up with some Sikaflex, but give it a good clean out, get rid of all that dirt and grime and crap. Fill her up and put those things in there, just sitting in temporary. So, yeah, making progress. All right, initial Scholastic is in. I'll go back and fill the cavities with more of it once everything's locked down and bedded in. May end up putting rubber strip in there as well. But you can see that's what it looks like. Just a little dab under the washer and underneath that mounting block. Just got to put the rail on. Yeah, get it all locked up in place. I'd like to get the platform on tonight just so it's sort of sitting still and bedding in, and then I can finish with it maybe tomorrow or in the next couple of days. Alright, just a temporary fit, just to make sure all the holes line up, which they do. Happy with that. I got some compressed air onto the channels. Went through it then with some detergent and warm water. Gave it a really good clean out so the Sikaflex will stick, and then got the compressed air back on it. So these are now ready to put some Sikaflex on, bolt down in place, do the other side, probably let them set, and then I'll get the platform on. All right, both rails are up. Now just installing these lugs. There's a bolt that goes through the rail, backbone, and then these things on top, which the platform will sit on. There's 8 of them, so you'll see in each rail 1, to 4 slots. So one of these per slot. All of this is still loose. It said don't tighten it up. There's a specific order. You've got to tighten them up once the platform goes on, which is just about to happen. Go and ask the wife whether or not she'll give me a hand. Okay, she's on. All tightened up. I just went through and did a snug fitting on the nuts and bolts, then came back and tighten them up a bit more. There's a set procedure. You've got to, once these are the ones that go through your roof, once they're done and sort of you're happy with them, you've then got to do these ones. So they're the bolts that go through and hold the rails onto these lugs. So you do them, and then finally you do the platform going down onto the rails. Bit of fun and games, getting the component up in there and turning it 90 degrees to lock down in this channel, or the channels. But the missus was really good at helping me, and she's got smaller hands than I do, so it finally got on there. Still got accessories to put on here, so I haven't finished up the video yet. Got to put in the I bought some rubber to go into these rails. I've bought a mount for my awning, bought a mount for a wind deflector for up the front, as well as a mount for a light bar, and I also bought this other piece that goes up here. Basically it sort of makes it one solid area as opposed to just rails. So I'll get them on and show you what it looks like and wrap it up. Okay, so this is fully installed. I've bought a couple of optional things. I bought this hex mesh, put it down. The tie down bolts are optional, so I'm going to buy some more of them. These rubber strips are optional, but it looks so much better with them. You can see what it looks like without them, and then you can see what it looks like with them. Very easy to cut and put in. Just, yeah, great for protecting whatever you're putting up there. Still got a few things to do. I've got to mount that UHF antenna over there. It's one of those 90-degree folding ones. Got my light bar, just a little bubby one. Put that in. I've got a couple of 7-inch bodies to put in on the front on a nudge bar. But look, overall, yeah, it was a bigger job than I thought. And being the first time, you make all your mistakes on the first or second time, don't you? So pulling the roof lining out just to get stuff done was a challenge, but now I know what to do and what not to do. Overall, I'd recommend, if you're going to look at one of these Wedgetails, don't be put off by the fact you've got to pull the roof lining down. I think you'd have to do that with anything else. You know, I know some of like the O-cams and that, they can bolt to the existing bolt holes, but I think Rhino Rack might be the same as this, where you've got to pull it out and put the backbone system in. Got some offcuts of the rubber, so tomorrow I will going to paint those black, fill this with Sikaflex, and then trim the rubber. The rubber actually fits in there perfectly, so it's great. Trim the rubber to go around that, so you'll look almost factory. The other thing is that that's a light bar holder that was also optional. So yeah, happy with it. I'm sure it'll stand the test of time. I'll take it up to the Cape in August, September, and see how it goes. Got a bit of crap to throw up there. Just got to give this thing a wash now and a polish. But yeah, if you're thinking of a Wedgetail, I think the quality of them is really good. Built in Australia, out of Melbourne, made by tradesmen. The company Tradesman Roof Racks have been around forever. So, got any questions, let us know. I'll see if I can help you out.